Good morning, everyone. It's Professor Shivayogi Patil from Totadar Engineering College, Gadag. Yesterday, I had released a video. You might have seen it. So it was my first video on Live Life King's Size series. Live Life King Size series. So basically, the idea is to help my students as well as other students or anyone who wanted to progress in their career by giving some guidance, by motivating them to perform well. So, by giving some life skills to them. So, that was my intention of releasing all these videos. So, in yesterday's videos, we talked about the purpose. So, I told you about 5 P's actually. So, first is purpose, second is passion, third is prioritizing, fourth is performance, then persistence. So it may not be in the same order. So, but all these 5 P's are very, very essential to get success in life. All these 5 P's. So yesterday I discussed about with an example of Indian cricket team how they get motivated by getting a new purpose, that is like getting the World Cup for Sachin Tendulkar, something like that. So they got motivated by that purpose. You need to have some purpose in your work, whatever work you do. So it may be small work also, that should have a purpose. Then only you will succeed in that work. So purpose can also be called as outcome. In modern language, it can be called as outcome. So you should know what is the outcome of your action. For every action, what you take every day, every minute, every second, you should know the outcome. Then your life will be very, very successful. Otherwise, just vaguely you go on doing some work, you are going to fail. So that's why planning is essential, and you should know, you should draft the outcomes. Whenever you are doing some important work, you need to know the outcomes. So therefore, there is a term in NLP. So moving a person from victim mindset to victim frame to outcome frame. So that is a term in the NLP. We will discuss it in later sessions. So that is all about the purpose. So I think you are convinced about the having a purpose in your life or having a purpose for your study. So that is what we are today. We will discuss about the passion. So whenever you love something, naturally a passion will be created. Whenever you love something, so passion will be created. For example, you love singing, or you love dancing, or you love some musical instruments, or you love some hobbies. So naturally, passion will be automatically created in your mind, and that will help you to energize your body. You will be enthusiastic and you will perform well. So okay, if everything goes well, your family agrees, and a lot of other external environment support you, then you will become successful. So passion is very, very important for anything to do and get succeeded. So succeeded with flying colors. Okay, everybody can in today's academic world, anybody can pass the exam, simply clear the exam. Clearing exams is not at all a problem. But if you want to clear the exam with flying colors and get a good, highly paid job, then you need to generate love for your studies and create passion for your studies or for your academic career. That is what I wanted to stress out. Normally, in my classroom, I ask students why you choose engineering as your career option. Why you choose engineering as your career option? So a lot of students doesn't have clarity about it. So some have joined due to peer pressure. Peer pressure means their friends have joined, therefore they also wanted to do engineering. For some, it was a parental pressure. Only few students who have joined because of their own interest, or they might have seen some future in engineering. So that's why they have joined. So what I told you is, it is like, see, joining any academic course, not only in engineering, it is like a getting married. So it is like a getting married. So there are two types of marriages. One is arranged marriage, one is love marriage. So whatever marriage you may be in, but you should continue to love your spouse and your family. For example, in arranged marriage also, normally in arranged marriage there will not be love before marriage. So after marriage you need to start that love. Then only so the marriage will succeed. Love, respect, and all those things should be there after, at least after the marriage. But there is no problem in case of love marriage. So the love exists before the marriage also. Therefore, they continue to love, and that love should continue for longer period till they exist on this earth. Otherwise, if they lose that love, if they lose that respect, then problems will happen. So that is true for even arranged marriage also. That is true for love marriage also. So what I wanted to say is, see, joining a course maybe due to parental pressure or maybe due to peer pressure is like arranged marriage. So you have married already. You're so taking admission is like you have married. Now you should start loving it. So only those people who have, with their own interest have joined the course, so they are like entering a love marriage. So they have to again continue to, they should not stop after the marriage. Otherwise, again, that will be, they will be in trouble. So what I wanted to say here is, so you need to start loving even if you are not loved the course before. So that love, that interest, what you have in your course or in your academic year, only can create passion inside you. So passion is the driving force for the performance. Passion is the driving force for the performance, for taking action, planning, and what are the stages are there to attain the success. So those are all driven by the passion. So without passion, nobody has succeeded. A musician, an artist, a sports person, without passion, they cannot succeed. So develop that passion. So to develop that passion, you should start loving your academic career, your subjects. So then only you will get interest, your focus will be right, your concentration will be there. So then passion comes into picture. So focus comes only when you love your academic career, you respect your academic career, you respect your subjects, you respect your labs. What is focus? Focus is nothing but avoiding 100 things which attract you, 100 things, 99 things which attracts you, and getting that only one thing that will make your life. Avoiding 99 unwanted things that attract you. There are hundreds of attraction in this society. So avoiding 99 unwanted things that doesn't help you in your to build up your career, and focusing on only one option, only one choice that will help you to grow in your career and achieve success. That is called focus. So somebody called razor sharp focus. Your focus should be razor sharp. It should be like you are holding a magnifying glass. So how magnifying glass will focus the sun rays on paper, and the paper will catch the fire. So your focus should be so strong that you will develop passion for the subject. So once you develop passion for the subject, automatically the interest will be created. Then concentration will be there in the lab, in the classrooms. So your senses will be awakened every time. So you can collect the information correctly. You will search for the information. See, education is not just about attending the class or attending the lab or reading the books. So today there is n number of sources that are available for your education, for your subjects. N number of sources. There is internet, there is library, there are journals, there are online classes. So there are many other sources where you can get the information. You need not to depend on only the classroom study. That is okay. That is very very essential. But that is only the. You should not stop at that. So whatever that is covered in the classroom study, because of the restriction of the semesters, because of the restriction of the 13-week semester, what I am talking about engineering, this thing. So that will be the minimum prescribed by the syllabus. That is minimum prescribed by the VTU syllabus that will be covered. Okay, so that is not everything about engineering. So there is something beyond that also. There is not something. There are a lot of things beyond that also. That also you need to go through and understand, because you cannot say that this is out of syllabus. This is out of what has been taught in the college or in the classroom, something like that. Nothing. I will give you an example. In my college days, I studied civil engineering in BUB. In my this thing, I think it is a SOM paper, that is strength of material paper. So one paper was very tough, and I felt that a lot of questions were out of syllabus. Then after the completion of the exam, we somehow managed to clear it. We went to our teacher who taught us strength of materials. His name I still remember. His name is a very famous and a very good teacher, Professor Dr. Surya Narayan Rao. So and asked him, sir, this is the thing, we could not do the paper very well because there were a lot of questions out of syllabus, something like that. So he told something that shocked us. My dear friends, there is nothing out of syllabus for an engineer or engineering students. There is nothing out of syllabus. Everything is syllabus. It is an engineering question, so it is valid. So those were the days, and that was the thing that holds good for those days. Now it has been completely changed, because in those days there were no textbooks, standard textbooks, especially Indian authors. There were only foreign author books, and just to cover the syllabus, we need to, even to cover one single chapter or module or unit, we need to refer 2-3 books. That was the case there. There were no leave about internet. There was not TV also. We didn't had no proper, only class notes what our professors used to dictate. So we depended on that. So what I wanted to tell you is, so in those days, so you cannot expect the questions only from the standard textbooks or only from something called syllabus. So the professors who used to set the question papers might have asked from any textbook, that is foreign author textbook. Most of them were foreign author, big volume textbooks. So we that was our this thing, predicament in those days. So it was very hard to score and hard to clear engineering examination. But now it has been diluted. So you are lucky people. So it has been diluted. So why I am telling you all these things is, so you should always go for in-depth knowledge, not just classroom knowledge, not just syllabus knowledge. There are n number of videos available in YouTube's. So they are presented by highly qualified IIT professors and all. So who have specialized in those things, who have experimented a lot in those subjects. So they can give you expert lecture, in-depth knowledge in that subject. That is not possible in other colleges, who follow just video syllabus. They are autonomous colleges, therefore they can frame the syllabus however depth they want. So that is the reason why I am telling you. So your engineering study, or for any matter, any branch your thing, should not be restricted to covering just your syllabus and just to clear the examination. You should not be an examination candidate. I tell most of my students, they are all examination candidates. Their main focus is to get clear in the examination. So that should not be the focus. See, the meaning of students is student. The word student is seeker of knowledge. Seeker of knowledge means his main intention is to get the knowledge from all the sources available or whatever the possible sources available. So that should be the true definition of student. That will be true definition of the student. So therefore, my dear students, don't restrict yourself to the syllabus. So go deeply into it, because you never know. You need in-depth knowledge for joining any company. You need in-depth knowledge. Apart from the basic knowledge, you need to have in-depth knowledge, because the interviewer may not ask you from your just syllabus and all. So they may ask you something beyond syllabus also. You should be ready in that sense. So what I wanted, so that is possible. That is possible only you have passion about your life. So about your life also, you need to have passion. So passion for anything will energize your body. Because I will tell you one thing. So energy is created in our body just by our thoughts, just by our emotions, just by our feelings. There is no external source of energy that can be available to our body. So no tonic, no tablets can give you energy. If somebody is claiming that, then they are just misleading you. No tablet, no drinks can give you energy. So your energy, the source of your energy will be your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions. So positive thoughts. So positive thoughts, positive emotions, positive feeling are your energy sources. So your passion for the subject, your passion for your academic, your passion for your work, so your passion for whatever you are doing will create such type of thoughts, such type of emotions, such type of feelings. So generally, then however tired you are from some physical work, you may be undergone some physical work, so you might have tired, you will be energized just by those thoughts, those by feelings. So you will get energized. So you'll have those enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is very important to do anything. Without enthusiasm, if you do anything, so it will be a mediocre success, or it will be a mediocre effect, not a highly successful effect. So there is one saying in the English. So greatness in life is not doing big things. Greatness in life is not about, or great success in life is not about doing big things. It is doing small things with great enthusiasm, great effort. So to get the great result, even small things. So even whatever your small things you are doing, if you put your 100%, you will achieve great results to that, and accumulation of those great results will lead you to a greater life. So that's why I'm telling you, friends, my students, friends, as well as anybody who may be working also. So create passion for what you are doing. So you may be in a corporate world, you may be a faculty. So if you are a faculty, create passion for teaching, create a passion for the subjects you are teaching. Then only you can go in depth into the subject, and you can inspire the students. So teaching is all about inspiring the students. So that's what I wanted to convey. So passion is very important. So that is the second quality you need to have apart from the purpose. So if purpose and passion get together, they become lethal combination. So nobody can stop you. You become unstoppable. So in anything you do, even if in sports also, if you have a purpose, if you know your outcomes, so what you want to do. For example, a tennis player may be trying to win a medal in some tournament. So that is his purpose. Okay, 1 year is left. So here he will, if he knows the purpose, So if he draft the outcomes of his or if he at least imagine the outcomes of the tournament, then that passion will be created and he will practice harder and harder and harder, and he has all the chances to get that coveted trophy in that tournament. Therefore, my dear friends, I'm going to, okay, time is over. So, my dear friend, develop passion in whatever you do. So, in your studies, for your subjects, for your college. So, develop love for your college. So, love for the college environment. So, your labs and all those things. So, with the lethal combination of purpose and passion, I will definitely sure that you will scale towards the success. So, I will just stop here. Thanks for patience listening and watching this video. Please share this video with your friends and whoever you want. So subscribe to my channel, so that will help me to grow more faster and help you to make more such videos. Thank you one and all.